In this daily drop, we're going to talk about putting together a portable voiceover kit. So let's go. Okay, here we are and into already the fourth episode for this week. And this one's going to be audio related. In fact, last week during the Thanksgiving holiday, my oldest daughter was coming up and she had to do an audition for an audiobook. So I said, you know what? Bring your stuff up here. We can do it here. I can do a little BTS behind the scenes stuff and create an episode of the Daily Drop around that. So here's the deal. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money to put together a decent voiceover kit. But one of the keys to the castle is isolating that microphone, and not just with a shock mount, but actually doing something where you can get rid of unwanted noise. You want a dry signal, something that you can work with later on. And that's hard to do in bigger spaces, and it's hard to do in untreated spaces. So obviously the first thing you need is a microphone. And what I'm recommending here as an inexpensive but good quality solution, which you can use for many things, is the Rode NT USB Plus. So it's a USB-C based microphone. You can obviously do USB-C to USB-A or USB-C to USB-C, and then that gets plugged into your computer. And of course, that's your main recording device. Now, what you can do is you can also download Rode's free software called Rode Connect. And what that will allow you to do is access the microphone, set it up. If you're just doing podcasting, you can record directly into the app. I wish it was an editor as well, but that's not usually the solution I'm using to record with anyway. But it is there as free software, and it does give you some flexibility. Then you need to isolate the microphone. So, of course, you can set it up on a desk with a mic stand, and that's okay. Generally, you're going to pick up a lot of unwanted sounds and tapping and things like that. So I at least like to get it onto an arm of some kind. Rode has something called the PSA-1 Plus. Their original version was okay, but the new version is a great arm to boom your microphone, be very precise in terms of its positioning, and I really like that product a lot. But again, the key to the castle is isolating your microphone. So there's a product that's less than $100 from a company called Auray. It's called the ISO Armor 2 microphone isolation chamber. That's a mouthful. But basically what it does is it has a built-in shock mount. You put your microphone into the isolation chamber, and that means it's floating there and it's reducing vibrations and things. And then it has acoustical foam inside of it, and it's a mini vocal booth that your microphone sits inside. So you put that onto the arm, or again, you could put it onto something like this. And now you're isolating your microphone, not only from a shock mount or vibration standpoint, but also from unwanted noise. Is it perfect? No. I mean, you can, of course, always pick up sound from the front, which is where your voice is going to go into the microphone, or your talent's voice is going to go into the microphone, but it's pretty dang good. So what we did is we set this arm up here in this space, and then I plugged it right into my laptop. In this case, I recorded right into Final Cut Pro with the VoiceOver tool, but you could use Premiere, you could use some other app to record it. And here's basically the result with that setup.
Keep away from him, the pretty girl next to me hissed under her breath. I'm trying to, I whispered back, blushing. She must have noticed his strangeness too. What? She hissed loudly, looking shocked.
Okay, so that's just the microphone by itself. There's no treatment going on. It's just with the isolation chamber and my daughter recording into the mic. And then I just wanted to clean that up a little bit. In Final Cut Pro, there's something called the voice isolation tool. I just added that a little tiny bit of EQ and compression, and then here's the result of that.
Keep away from him, the pretty girl next to me hissed under her breath. I'm trying to, I whispered back, blushing. She must have noticed his strangeness too. What? She hissed loudly, looking shocked.
Now, it doesn't really matter what you use to work with your audio. That's really your choice. But the point is, you can get a good, clean recording with just the bass setup, and then you can take it to the next level. And I'm not an audio engineer, so I'm not saying it's perfect, but this setup, which you can travel with very, very easily, is something that anybody could just fit into their suitcase, into an overhead on the airplane. And of course, if you wanted to set it up as a more permanent or semi-permanent setup, you could do that as well. But it's that isolation chamber and a good quality microphone that are going to make all of the difference. I would say the isolation part of it is even more important, because as long as you can get a clean recording, you can get it into software and you can do things with that recording. And yeah, I've got another isolation chamber I have coming in soon, which is a little bit more robust, a little bit more flexible, but also more expensive. But that entire setup that we were looking at is well under $400 US. So I think that's pretty good overall. All right, there you go. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.